Okay, now we're ready to do our interpolating function. Now, if we go back here to our function expression, we've already taken care of computing the coefficients bk. So this is taken care of. Now we need to compute the products of monomials. And we're going to need one of these for every bk. When we finish computing the products of monomials, we're going to want to take the sum of products of bk with the monomials. So on these two, we're going to want to use the function sum product, which we've used before. And that will give us the interpolating function. So let's consider what we're going to need here. We're going to want a value of the function for each value of x. So we're going to need a column for x. We're going to need columns for every one of these monomial terms. And then we'll be using sum product to get the result for f of x. All right, so we started setting up our interpolating function. The first column I want to put is x. And we can say x values. Now, notice that b0, b1, b2, b3 are set up here. So let's go ahead and compute the products of monomials over here. Now I'm going to put products of monomials over here. Okay. Now, if we look back here in the formula, b0 always multiplies 1. b1 always multiplies x minus x0. b2 always multiplies x minus x0 times x minus x1. So what I'm going to want to do in my spreadsheet is I want to put the thing that multiplies in the column corresponding to where the b is. So as I just mentioned, b0 multiplies 1. b0 multiplies 1. I'm going to want to put 1s in this column. b1 multiplies x minus xk. So I'm going to want to put x minus xk in this column. So b2 multiplies x minus x0 minus x minus x1. So I'm going to want to put x minus x0 times x minus x1 in this column. All right. So for each column, I'm going to have a different product of monomials. The way I'm going to express that is this way. And this is a product up to x minus xk. And my values of k, I'm going to put here. And what I want to do is insert a right arrow. So here I'm going to insert special character. Symbol font, I just type in SYM and it will take me there. Then I scroll, then I go here to the right and I find an arrow and I click OK. And I press enter. All right, I actually want this K over to the left, over to the right rather. So I'm going to move it over here. All right, now notice that when I multiply B1, I'm going to multiply B1 by x minus x0. So the index K associated with B1 is 0. Okay. So what I'd want to put is 0 here. Now notice 0 is the same as this index K minus 1. So that's how I'm going to enter it, equals the index K of BK minus 1. And that's consistent for all of the columns. I can go ahead and take this and fill right. So hold down the shift, 2 right arrows, edit, fill right. And that gives me my K values for the product of monomials. Well, let's go ahead and start filling in these columns. my first x value, I want to start with the first value in my table. So I type equals, and I'll click on A4. Now, when I notice these values, they're all at half integers. So let me take x values that are half integers. I can do that by typing equals, take A13, and add a half integer, 0.5. Now when I fill this down, I'm going to get all the half integers. So let me just go ahead and do that. I'll grab this square and fill down. All right, that's up to 44.5. That's quite a bit more than I need. I just want to get up to 22.5. 24 should be fine. So I'll just delete this part. I don't need such a big table. All right. Now, remember that in this column here, what multiplies B0 is 1. So I want to put all 1s in this column. I'll fill down later because I can fill down all the columns at once. All right, now what do I want in this column? In this column, I want x minus x0. So I'll take equals. Now, where's my value of x? It's here. Where's my value of x0? It's up here. Okay, so I have that minus x0. Any fixed references here? The answer is there most certainly are. When I fill down, I want to stay with the same x0. So I'm going to fix this reference here. Shift F4 will shift that. Okay. All right. Now, what about this cell? This cell is going to be x minus x0 times x minus x1. In other words, it's going to be this result here times x minus x1. Okay. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to take equals this previous result times parenthesis. X is here. Where is x1? Well, I could click on this x1 here, but instead, I'm going to use offset again. This 15 here is offset by 1 from the original 10. So I'm going to type in offset. It's offset from this reference A4, and that's certainly going to be a fixed reference, so I'll go ahead and fix that now. It's offset by 1 row and 0 columns. Okay, close the parenthesis, and we have this result. All right, let's go ahead and trace the dependence. Okay. All right, so it's using this cell multiplying by x minus this value offset by 1. All right, so far it looks good. Let's turn off our dependence. All right, now, if I fill this right, what happens? So I'm going to hold down the Shift key, press the right arrow, edit, fill, right. Go here, tools, detective, trace precedents. All right, it's still taking the previous term. Oh dear, look at this. It's not taking x correctly. My x values should be in the first column, so I'm going to have to fix that reference. However, it's taking an offset of 2 from 10 here, so I believe that's correct. So let's go and repair this. Let's go to Tools and remove precedents. All right. So that means when I type this in, this reference was not good. I want to have a column must be fixed, so that's always in the same column. Okay. Now let me fill right and see what happens. Hold down the Shift, right arrow key, edit, fill right. Let's trace dependence. tools, detective, and it looks like we're depending on the right things. Now, in hindsight, let me say that I actually didn't need to type separate formulas in here and in here. The formula that's in this cell now actually works for this one as well. So let me show you how that works. Tools, detective. Let's remove all traces. Okay. Well, first of all, let's fill this down and see what happens. I actually don't know how far to fill down, so we'll just do this much. Remember, fill down is Control D. And let's see, it looks like we got a problem, so let's not panic. We'll get there and figure out what's going on. All right, now why is this a problem? Let's go to Tools, Detective, Trace Precedents. Oh, look at this. I didn't do the offset correctly. Let's go back and fix the offset. All right, so that's what you do when you have mistakes, is you go and fix things. So let me go back here, and I'll go to Tools, Detective, Remove All Traces. All right, so what do we have here? I'm going to click in the cell, so we can see here. All right, so notice that I had D12. When it moved down, it took the reference down, so I'm going to want to fix the 12 as well. Okay, so that's a fixed reference. Okay. So let's correct that, and we'll move to the right. Edit, fill, right. And then we'll go down. Edit, fill, down. All right. Now it looks like we're having some problems up here. Why is this having a problem? Let's go over and see why. Well, the problem is my table ran out. So let me go ahead and delete all of these. All right, now I've got a table that looks okay. I mentioned that this formula would also work in this column also. You can try it and see. If you do a fill left, you'll find that the values in this column don't change. So this formula here actually is the only formula needed for the entire table. Okay, pretty handy. But again, it is a little bit complicated to get the fixed cell arrangements correctly. You need to think carefully. Okay. Now what do we have to do? Remember, in the formula, we had to use sum product to get the final result. The final result is the product of the coefficients, B, times the product of monomials. So let's go back and do that. All right. So here's going to be interpolating function. And what we want is sum product. Let me make this smaller so you can see what we're doing. What I want to do is take the sum product. Whoops. And we want to take the product of these values here. Now, these are always going to be used, so this is definitely a fixed reference. I'm going to hit Shift F4. And then to get the second group, I'm going to want to take these guys here. This is not a fixed reference because every time I change X, I change these values. That's why I created the table. All right, let's see if we're done here. So I'm going to go down to fill the whole table. Control D for fill down. And let's see what happens. Notice the value in X equals 10. Well, let's scroll up and see how this compares with the original value. Look at that. The value of the function when X equals 10 agrees with the original value. Let's look at the value at 15. Here we have 362.78. Here we have 362.78. Our interpolating function agrees with the original value. What was the next one? I think it was 20. Here we have 517.35. Here we have 517.35. For 22.5, 602.97, 602.97. Looks like we're right on the money. Let's do a graph to show the results here. All right, so I'm going to want to graph these actual x values. So let me go ahead and you do chart. Oh, I should have selected the data first. I'm sorry. Let's select the data first and we'll do chart. And this is going to be xy. And because this is the actual data, I want to do points only. So let's see what we have. This is fine. Data series and columns. The name is correct. Let's see. For the x-axis, we can say x, and then we can say, for the y-axis, we can say fx. Okay. And I think we're okay. So those are the values that we obtained. Let's see how our interpolating function works out. I'm going to click in the chart with a left click, right click to data ranges, select with a left click, and we want to go to data series, and we're going to create a new series. Our new series is going to be the interpolating function. Let's see if I can grab it. Oh dear, it's covered up. Well, let's start again. I'm going to move the chart and then we can do it. So I'm going to start again here. Chart's too big, so let's go ahead and make it smaller. Okay. And I'll move it off to the side so it's not in the way. There we go. Okay, that way I can see the interpolating function. Let's make it larger so we get some more contrast. There we go. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to add data to the table. So if I click, left click in the chart and right click, it says data ranges. And I want data series. I'm going to add another data series. The name for this data series is interpolating function. The x values go here. The x values are in column A here, so I'm going to take the x values here. Grab those. Okay. And then for the y values, I'm going to take the values of the interpolating function. I can start selecting from the bottom, that's okay, and work my way up. All right, so that's my y values. And let's see how this works. We'll see if our interpolating function matches up with our function. And look how nicely it matches up. Our interpolating function is a smooth function that passes exactly through the data points that were given. Now, I think it's probably better to make this a line rather than points, so I'm going to right-click on this line. We'll do Format Data Series. And for the line, and here it says no line. And I want a line, so let's make a continuous line. And I don't want blue. I've already got blue. We can make it red or something. And I don't want an icon, so let's go here, no symbol. And let's see what that does. Oh, I'm sorry. I chose the wrong one. Chose the wrong one. Let's see if we can do this again. I'm not sure why it did that, but let's see if we can undo that. I'm going to hit a Control Z. All right. So I want to make sure that I'm selecting the correct series. Let's see if this works now. If I right click and I do Format Data Series, yeah, this one will, it seems like this one will work now. I don't want an icon, so we'll say no symbol. How about that? Okay. And now there's no line. All right, let's try again. Let's undo and we'll try one more time. Try again. All right, now see, it's selecting this series, which I don't want. I want it to select the other series. See, this is the wrong series. Let's see if I can right-click here. Now see this f of x values, which I don't want. I want the data point. So let me right click on that. There we go. Format data series. I do want a line, so we'll do continuous. That's fine. I don't want an icon, so we'll have no symbol. Select. Voila. Here's our interpolating function and our complete Newton's divided difference spreadsheet. Okay, bon appetit.